if-else statement. The if will be checked for sure, and the else will only run if the if fails. But what if you wanted to check multiple if statements? Well, you could write them all in, so you could have if blah blah blah, if blah blah blah, if blah blah blah, though this is really somewhat improper if you actually desire every single if statement to be checked. And you actually want it to be all in like one big grouping, because without it, if you have just multiple ifs, the else is only going to apply to the last if statement. So there's nothing wrong with writing multiple ifs if they're necessary and you want them all to run and you don't want them to be like tied together in one big loop. Otherwise, you should use the elif statement. So, and the elif is, again, short for else if, basically. So, let's go ahead and start. So we're going to say x equals 5, y equals 10, oops, and z equals 22. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if x is greater than y, print x is greater than y. So we know that's going to fail, but we'll throw that there anyways. Elif x is less than z, print x is less than z. So we're pretty confident that's going to work out for us. Else, we'll just say print if and elif, maybe multiple elifs, never ran. Save, run, and it turns out one of our statements did indeed run, and that is the x is less than z. But we can come down here and we could even add even more statements. Like we could say elif 5 is greater than, let me think here. Let's see, x is less than z. So like, what if we did something like this? 5 is greater than 2, colon, print 5 is greater than 2. So in the old-fashioned way of doing our like multiple if statements, this statement would reign true and trigger the printage of 5 is greater than 2. But here, let's see what happens. We'll save and run it, and again we only got x is less than z. Now the reason this happened is this is all one big loop. So basically it's asking, if this is the case, do it. Elif, do this. Elif, do this. But what happened was this was triggered as true, and then the rest of this block that's all tied together was broken, and it just left, right? And that's the idea of the elif, is as soon as it finds something that's true, it's not going to continue searching to see if it's true. So by the same token, though, we could do something like this, elif equal 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 equal, and then we could run this, and then and in this case, it finally got to this else statement, and nothing ever ran, so indeed it printed out if and elifs never ran for us. So as you can see, the elif statement it does indeed, it just adds one more layer of logic to your script, or your program, but at least in this case it's just a simple script. But it adds one more bit of logic to it where you can kind of start tying these things into each other and using their properties to actually start building some pretty interesting logic. So anyways, that's going to conclude the if, elif, else, I don't know, I would say pairing, but it's not pairing. Anyways, the putting together. And so hopefully you guys learned something new. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the learning Python and all of that. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below. Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support and your subscriptions. And